Tommy Clifford.
Erik, Kelly, happy day to you. Welcome back. We missed you last week. Missed you.
Oh, thank you. It's good to be back. Yeah. I've been traversing North America.
You have.
Meeting
you've
all
had
sorts
lots
of amazing people.
And you've had lots of experiences. You've learned. You've grown. You wrecked a car.
I did. It was a life-changing day for me and for the deer, unfortunately.
Well, thankfully you are here, and
yes,
that's all that matters. There's more work for Erik Kelly to do here than there is in other parts of the heaven. So we're glad you're here. Very glad.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So I'm excited for today's conversation.
I am too. I'm excited to learn. I've always, learning from the feet of Erik Kelly is a blessing. And when Erik Kelly gets fed, the masses get fed. So let's talk about, where were you? And let's talk about your location and talk about some things you learned. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's do it. So I've been on the road for a little bit. I call them workations. Because I live a both and existence, which means there's trade-offs to that. And I think that I see two polarizations of people right now in entrepreneurship, business, and specifically the real estate industry. And there's one group that's thriving, that's excited about opportunity, that understands there's changes that need to be navigated, but they're being proactive in learning and preparing for that and embracing the opportunity of that. And then there's another group that's struggling. And so I spend time when I'm traveling also, I see new places, I meet new people, I come in touch with new ideas, but I also spend time thinking. And I walk quite a bit and I'm contemplating, okay, what's the best way to navigate through? How can we take this knowledge that we've learned and apply it? Where's the roadmap? What are accelerators for people? And so some of the things that I've had a lot of clarity about over the last few weeks is how critical mindset is and how critical our self-care and what we're doing to start every day and being intentional about to put ourselves in the best position to win is essential. And we've talked before about the idea of selling being a transference of energy. And so my question to everyone that's tuning in today is, what is the energy that you're bringing to the conversations in your life? What's the energy that you're bringing? What's the expectation that you're bringing? Are you coming from a place of being excited to hear about what's going on with other people, what challenges they may be facing, what needs they may have? Or are you coming from a place of lack where you feel desperate to make a sale or you're caught up in the fear of the unknown? Because the reality is for every single person in life, those that are in a season of thriving or those that are in a season of challenge, that the future is unknown for all of us. Nobody has any idea what's happening tomorrow.
You and I didn't talk about what we were going to discuss here. And it's amazing because my wife and I, in our household, we have a term that we like to use, bucket filler. And there's people who want to fill your bucket, and there's people that you have to empty your bucket into their bucket. And you really need to be mindful. If you spend all your days filling somebody else's bucket without worrying about your bucket, you're going to be like Lake Mead was, a year and a half ago. Your water level is going to be low, and you're going to start potentially sucking air.
Yeah.
So this self-care and taking care of yourself is so important. Thank you for that, Erik. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's critical because everything starts with us. Everything flows through us. Everything that we're bringing and our ability to fill other people's buckets, as you pointed out, Tommy, is contingent of us being able to serve from overflow. We've got to fill our own bucket first. Now, that said, I don't believe that we can wake up, do yoga, meditate, and manifest everything that we want for high achievement. or any level of success, whatever we deem that to be, because I believe success is a very personal definition. You and I might have some commonality in some of our life aspirations or the principles we live by or the priorities that we have for our family and for our well-being and for our community and contribution, things like that. But success is still defined differently for you than it is for me. And that's true of all of us with our closest friends and our family members. It looks different for everyone because it's a unique definition of success. So
Correct.
what we have to do is start the day off. My belief is gratitude. This is a personal practice of mine every single day before I even get out of bed. As I'm sort of waking up, the first thing I'm thinking about is gratitude. And then as I get up and get moving, I'm thinking about some intentional priorities for the day, just a few, not a to-do list that's 100 items long. One of the things that's interesting is when I sit with people and we start to have a conversation about legacy vision, one of the things we'll talk about is write down all the things you feel responsible for right now. And it becomes very clear very quickly why most people feel a sense of overwhelm. And so what we have to do is be the protector of our own priorities. And we have to be the one that is the defender of our own schedule. And we have to be focusing on the things that matter most. So the first thing is our personal well-being, but that's the first component of the day. I think that's where you start out, but that's not all day. Because the reality is, and this is one of the takeaways from a couple of the events that I've been at, and I've spent some time with some people, spent some time with some developers, I've spent some time with some clients that run highly successful businesses. I've spent some time with family that have done all sorts of really creative stuff. Like I was just with an aunt of mine last night, and she's traveled the world. She's had an amazing life. And I just love hearing those stories of people that are doing things that light them up as an individual, that are fulfilling to them, and they're weaving that into the life. And so part of the what's working right now and how we show up in the world is figuring out what that is for us and weaving that into our regular routine. But the underlying theme I took away from all that full spectrum of conversation of all those people I've interacted with over the last few weeks, hard work works.
Hard
At
work
some point
does.
we have to roll up our sleeves and actually do the work.
Well, and a great friend says, stop thinking you're going to get rewarded on the work that you don't do. And it's, Eric, that first part about, if you're going to be a lighthouse, you can't help other people if your light is under a bushel. You can't help other people. I don't want to get religious, but it's kind of one of those, let your light so shine kind of situations. And if people can't find you, if people can't see what you're like, if your light isn't bright, you can't help other people you can't light the way for other people. So you have to make sure that your mirror is as shiny as possible, and then you can help other people. But the self-help component is huge, so huge, Eric. Oh my gosh,
yeah,
I love that.
Well, and here's the other thing that, like, related to that, positive people want to work with positive people, right? People that are entrusting our wise counsel, our advice, our experience, vesting in a strategic solution. We're guiding them through a process. This is a major life decision, the home buying and home selling process. So as it relates to real estate, they want to work with people that are confident. They assume that we're competent, but they want to work with people that are confident. The way that you get confident is you have more of those conversations and you understand your market. You spend enough time investing in a little research in your market, which honestly I think is probably 30 minutes to an hour a week. You can be well informed about what's going on in your market. And then you have those reference points and you identify where do those reference points apply to the personal priorities of the person that I'm serving right now. The most important skill, though, that we can develop, Tommy, is listening and asking intelligent questions and being genuinely curious about what's going on in somebody else's life.
You are so right. You're so right, Eric. And I remember when I was active in an agent, as an agent, I would go out with a partner and we would just go for a drive. And I didn't get it. What are we doing? We're doing research. What do you mean we're researching? We're just driving through a development. You need to know what your inventory's like. If you're the manager of Walmart, you need to know, how many cases of Diet Coke you have. You need to know, where the crackers are. You need to know where the tenderloin is. You need to know your market. You need to know what's on the shelf. And as a real estate agent, your clients want you to know, hey, there's a park over there. Hey, there's a church over there. Hey, there's a really great green space over there. You need to know this stuff, and you need to be intelligent enough. So you're right. You need to spend half an hour, X amount of time per day, per week, whatever, out there in your field, because you're a farmer and you need to know what's going to be cultivated, and you need to know what signs go up. You need to know all about that. You need to know your farm. You need to know it.
Well, the information that's important to most clients, right? So we're making an emotionally driven decision to buy or even sell that's justified by logic. But most people are leading, whether it's posts online, stories, reels, videos, most people are leading with logic in our industry. And nobody cares about that until they need to know it, right? That's need to know information. What they do care about is lifestyle. What they do care about is design. What they do care about is, what are the neighborhoods like? What are the community like? Do they see themselves living there? How does it align with their season of life, the functionality of this floor plan? What's attractive about this community? That's why we've seen such a proliferation over the last few decades of like a active adult lifestyle community, right? They used to be called retirement communities. Now they're active adult communities. And part of what they do is they create a beautiful aesthetic. They create community rooms. They have classes. They have social events. They do things to form connection, which is one of the things that I think is the greatest void in society today, is true human connection. And so point number one was self-care. Point number two was hard work works. Like, you got to roll up your sleeves and do it. Point number three is find ways to form actual human connection. And I think the more authentic content we can produce, which, as you and I have talked about many times, short form videos where it's at. You and I are always researching new technologies, everything to AI, to video creation, to things like that. We're on the forefront of that, to be able to keep people informed through this level up coaching community about what's going on. And there's a ton of free resources, but none of the resources matter unless you're going to do it with some consistency, unless you're creating content with consistency, unless you're forming connections with people consistently, in all forms, check-in calls, being visible in your community, showing up, being there for things outside of just, what your real estate need at the moment. But forming true connection, finding different ways to connect with people on multiple levels.
So true. So true. Connecting with people. A real estate agent, you're in the people connection business. You're connecting people to properties, but you have to connect with those people before you'll get that opportunity to connect to a property. You need to have that emotional, okay, grandma just passed, her house needs to be sold. You need to connect soul to soul. Hey, here's my real estate spirit animal. They're going to help me through this process. Or we have to move across country and I need to sell this house, or I just moved across country and I need to buy a property. You have to have a heart-to-heart connection with these people, because you're not just doing a single transaction. You shouldn't be doing a single transaction. You should be building a lifelong relationship with these people, so that when they decide to move up, or they decide that mom and dad need to move, or whatever it happens to be, they're going to call you because you deposited money in their emotional bank account and now they need to withdraw it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's never been a better time in history to be able to nurture relationships and have a reward come back from that in the form of business. And one of the best things that I heard, and then obviously that's not the only reason we want to nurture relationships, but in terms of building stability in your business, building momentum in your business, the more minutes, hours, and days you can invest each and every week, each and every month in genuinely nurturing relationships, it is going to be the most exponential ROI, return on investment of your time, which is the most valuable commodity we have, that you've ever experienced in life. And one of my favorite takeaways from the conference I was at in Vancouver, there's so many people that talk about value, and I think the word value is almost overused now, and I'm guilty of it too. I mean, I'm sure I've asked you that, Tommy. What can I do to add value for you right now? Very common expression. We talk about value add and we talk about value proposition. And one of the speakers there said, what are you doing to build a trust proposition? And I was like, wow, I love that. That's really what it's about. Because value is sort of like what's valuable to you is different than what may be valuable to me. What's valuable to me in this moment of my life is different than what may be valuable to me a year from now or 5 years from now. And so trust, if you have a foundation of trust, then that's much more pliable. And so what are the things that you're doing to build a trust proposition with people? That's how you show up personally. It's how you show up visibly in the public eye. It's the type of content that you're delivering. It's the consistency that you're showing up with. But I think shifting our mindset around that just a little bit to say, I'm here to build a trust proposition is a key differentiator for you in the market and for your brand in the market versus what's almost become kind of white noise to me personally is value.
I love what you said. Trust. Because if you have in the computer world, when you have a computer that you can talk to that adds value, you build a trust relationship. And once you have that trust relationship, you're always going to go back and forth without any friction between those computers. And
right.
You're right. That value word probably gets overused. It might be, people say value, people say, this or say that. But trust is almost a deeper ingrained word. And I think that's a brilliant saying. You build trust with these people. And once you have that trust, then it's yours to lose.
Well, I can just tell you, from my personal experience, I'm stepping into some new spaces. So in addition to being able to assist real estate clients, now we're getting into some development opportunities. We've got the opportunity to create a different conversation and to bring a different opportunity to our sphere of influence and to genuinely help people with opportunities in real estate that they would never have as an individual. And so that's a huge responsibility. It's also a huge opportunity. But the only way that is fulfilled is because of the trust, the high level of trust and quality of relationships that I've built with people over whatever period of time. With some people, that's established in a week or a month, where you just feel a connection and you sort of qualify or quantify each other, and you feel a sense of trust. With other people, that span many decades of showing up consistently as the same type of person and the same value-driven person and the same principle-based person. And that's what's formed a level of trust. But building trust with people, and one great way to build trust with people is to be very interested in them, to be curious about them, to wonder what's challenging them, to help provide resources to them when they identify, I could really use this, I'm struggling with this, I have concerns about this, I'm thinking about this, I have questions about this. Being able to be the solver and the connector and the resource to them, and stay curious about really getting in touch with what's their true vision. Like, what are they ultimately trying to create in their life? That's a great way to build trust.
Yes. I love this. There is so much. Each one of these topics that we've talked about, we really could talk at great lengths about each one. And there's such a deep dive on that trust one. That's a real, holy cow. Talk about still waters, running deep. That's something my dad would always tell me. Hey, still waters go deep. Still waters go deep. And like, oh man, holy cow. Talk about a Marianas Trench. We could go forever on that one. But
yeah. So I think looking at where we're at in business right now and having a really truthful conversation about what's working, what's not working. In most cases, if our business is faltering, the reflection in the mirror is what's not working the most.
Right.
So, but getting clear about where should I be spending my time to get the highest return on investment of my time? Where can I contribute the most? Where can I build trust the most? How can I build trust the most? And then just be willing to start and do it. I mean, I've started creating a lot more videos this year than I ever have before. Some of them get a great response. Some of them get a lot of engagement. Some of them seem like they're complete flops, like nobody cares. Maybe it's the timing, maybe it's the topic, I don't know. But they don't get the same type of visible traction, at least in terms of like likes or shares or followers or views or any of that stuff. But it doesn't matter. The point is, I'm putting out the content that I feel inspired to put out. And inspiration is a great thing. And intention is a great thing. But recognition and reward only come from results. And recognition is for ourselves too. I'm not just talking about black piece and all the blah, blah, blah stuff. What I'm talking about is recognition, which is feedback on our process. Are we getting engagement from the message that we're putting out? Are we getting positive feedback from the people that we're talking to? And then results, obviously, are, how's that translating into revenue for our business? Or how's that translating into moving a relationship forward or seeing a referral come because we built a solid trust proposition with the people that we're interacting with. So I think it's essential to go through and be willing to do a self-assessment from a very truthful place and really identify probably 3 areas. Like, these are going to be my business builders, and ask ourselves, how can I elevate my level of service in those 3 areas that it's going to exceed everyone's expectations? Because what that's going to do, Tommy, is extraordinary results. And this was a really key takeaway related to that. The difference between average results, between people that are comfortable, that are just like, just cruising along. This year looks a lot like last year, or maybe it looks like less than last year because I haven't really elevated my commitment and my activities this year. I've been willing to float with the market conditions, and that ebbs and flows, as we all know. And so maybe my performance this year is way below what it was last year or 2 years ago because I haven't adapted, I haven't changed, I haven't brought anything into the market. But the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is not double the effort. It's not triple the effort. It's not 5x or 10x. All those can be good philosophies to apply in certain circumstances. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is about 10 to 15% more effort. It's just putting it in the right places.
That's exactly right. You're absolutely right. You get so close and you're spinning your wheels, but you look about, and that 10% might not be 10% every day. You might make a 1% change once a week, and then you hit that 10%. So that's oh my gosh, Eric, that's a powerful, holy cow, all this information. I don't know. It's a good thing I see you have to put like a clamp on your ears to hold all this information in.
To hold it all in. I'm trying to hold it all in place, man.
Oh my God. This is
in our comfort zone. What's happened in our industry is the market was fueling people's success. Their habits were not fueling their success. And so they were feeling successful based on their results, but they weren't really earning the results purely through sweat equity. And there's nothing wrong with riding a wave. Like, we're all human beings, but we get comfortable. And when we're in our comfort zone, that's a trap. Because what happens is we become imprisoned in the walls of a comfort zone that are of our own creation. We commit ourselves to the mortgage payment. We commit ourselves to the car payment. We start overspending on marketing, and we don't hold it accountable to results. And so I think this is a time to really differentiate. I think that we can get a ton of traction in terms of marketing and brand building right now for a very small amount of money. And so I think we not only evaluate everything that we're investing in our business, or everything that we're investing in with our time to build our brand. I think what we also have to do is look at our schedule, and we have to look at our time. And a time audit is a great way to do that. 15-minute increments throughout the day, track it from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. or whatever, and really evaluate every 15 minutes, how am I spending my time? What am I focused on? What am I doing? And we don't have to judge it. We don't have to beat ourselves up because we wanted to take a break and watch an episode of Friends for 30 minutes because we just needed to decompress. That's okay. That's part of the human experience. If we watch 8 consecutive episodes of a show, that might be a problem for us. That's probably impacting our productivity. But I think what we have to do is have awareness around it. So we develop awareness around, what am I actually doing with my time? And then as we record that, we categorize it and say, is this bringing me fulfillment? Is this moving me closer to my goal? Is this helping me create the life that I desire? Is this helping me to evolve into the person that I'm capable of, or having the business that I'm capable of having? And then we start to just make some decisions around that. And it doesn't mean that we have to eliminate everything in our lives. It's not like go, 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 all on purpose, all the time. I mean, we have to live our life. But the reality is, if we're willing to do an honest self-assessment and be truthful about that, and then look as an observer, not a judge, but look as an observer of what is our truth right now, then that allows us the fine-tuning to move that extra 10, 15% very effectively and very efficiently. And now all of a sudden we're starting to see extraordinary results show up.
You are right. You are right. Erik, this has been an amazing 30 minutes. I can't believe we've talked for 30 minutes already.
Well, 28 technically, but that's our goal. So it's all good.
Right.
I appreciate you, Tommy. Yeah, I'm thankful for everybody that joined it. I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm grateful for the amazing people that cross my path, that get to share and contribute and give us opportunities and make a difference. So
this is a great conversation, Erik. I look forward to chatting next week to being able to level up and share new insights to help people grow, because that's really what this is about.
Me too, brother. All right.
Oh, fireworks. Fireworks. Hey, talk to you later, Erik. Bye.
See ya.